What's going on, everybody? It's yours truly, Coach Mike Dub, here with another edition of the Coach Mike Dub Report, the Commanders Weekly Recap here on the Lockdown Defense Sports Studio. I'm here to wrap up Week 1 and to get us ready for Week 2. I know all of us are excited. It was a great kickoff weekend to the NFL. We saw some good football. We saw some surprises. We saw some things that maybe we weren't so surprised about. And if you're like me, you enjoyed a Victory Monday and a Victory Week coming into this week. And of course, over a divisional opponent. Couldn't be much happier. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into it because we got a lot to cover. So week 1, obviously, we're going to go ahead and recap how that went down. The Commanders came out on top 21-6 over the New York Giants. If you watched the game as a Commander fan, you were happy. It was a sold out crowd, great energy in the building coming off last year's NFC Championship appearance. Of course, there's a lot of hype coming around this team in the offseason. Jaden Daniels, will he have a sophomore slump? Will he prove to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league? A lot of hype around the Giants, too. Their defense, big time, quarterback signings, vets, rookies, and of course, Malik Neighbors, a superstar wide receiver. Just a lot of hype coming around this game on the NFC East side of things. So, if you heard me talking last week, I pointed out that this is not going to be an easy game. This is going to be kind of difficult. Last year we played them early in the season in Washington, and it was a kind of a hard game, low scoring game. Hard to find the end zone for both teams. This week played no different. It was definitely a hard fought game. The score is one that I'm proud of, one that I would have been happy if you would have told me beforehand that this is going to be how it ended up. And watching the game, I was definitely satisfied. A few things that I enjoyed seeing. Number one, that defensive line for the Commanders. We looked amazing, flying around. As you see, our player of the game, Deron Payne, which I'll go into detail a little bit more. But even the other guys, Doris Armstrong had a great game. Just all across the board, that front seven was flying around to the ball, shutting down the run game, getting after the quarterback. Russ wasn't comfortable all day long. Just an amazing job from the defensive side of the ball. I mentioned the defensive line, who I feel like played an amazing game, but also a secondary who really stepped it up big. They contained the Giants receivers, kept them from getting in rhythm. Marshawn Lattimore had a great game. And then also, our other corners, they really stepped up big, making big plays when it counted. There were no big plays for the Giants. We kept that to a minimum. Actually, I didn't see any really big plays happening for the Giants. Once again, they struggled to find the end zone. Like the last time when they came to Washington, it seemed like we had their number. So we beat them the last 3 times, which I'm happy about. And this is a team that, like I said, I was nervous about coming into because of the weapons that they had, specifically on the defensive side of the ball, and then of course the veteran quarterbacks that they had. Russ was the one that took the helm. I can say we made sure that he did not look comfortable and didn't get a rhythm with his receivers all game long. We were hitting them, we were disrupting their chemistry. Just a great game from the defense overall. Offensively, Jaden Daniels looked like Jaden. He picked up right where he left off last year. There were some chemistry issues. I think he could have been a little bit more accurate on some throws. But the thing that I was, I guess happy about more than anything else was the fact that he was making the right reads. He was making great decisions. He looked comfortable back there. Stepped up, moved around in the pocket when he needs to. He did a pretty decent job. I think overall, I give the team an A- in their performance. It actually was a little bit better than I expected. I can say that it was a little bit better than I expected, which I'm happy to be on that side of things. Of course, in previous years, there's been other cases, and for a lot of other teams in Week 1, a lot of people can't say the same. So I'm pleasantly surprised. Not really surprised, but I'll say that I'm on the side of being happier than I would have thought I would have been with our performance in Week 1 against an opponent that really I thought was going to put up a much better showing. So time will tell if this was, just a good game by the Commanders or if it was, the Giants that is just not going to be who we thought they were. We shall see. Our player of the game, which I'll give you every week, this week was Deron Payne. If you watch the game, I mean, he was flying around. Everything he was involved in, everything from the screens, shutting those down, to the run game, flowing sideline to sideline, chasing down runners, to disrupting the quarterback. He was all over the field. He was, who we paid him to be, and this is one of his best games in a Commander uniform, and I'm happy to see it. So, you know, you get 24 hours. It's a 24-hour rule. You get 24 hours to live in the loss or the win, either way, and then you're on to the next one. Especially this week, we have a short week, so I'm not going to spend too much more time on it. But I will say I give this overall an A- performance from the Commanders. I was very happy with our performance. Very happy with the fact that we came away with an early divisional win, and very happy specifically on the defensive side of the ball. So that being said, we jump right in to week two. Week two, here we are. We're getting things cracking against the Green Bay Packers, who was a tough opponent. NFC, one of the favorites in my opinion in NFC. They played a great game against Detroit last year. Not last week, I should say, on Sunday. Highly tight game, 4 o'clock, a lot of energy. Michael Parsons, of course, flying around, had a sack. He's still dealing with a little bit of an injury, but this was a team that really did their thing and really played well against Detroit. And of course, this was a playoff team last year as well, so they're a good opponent, formidable opponent. We're playing them on a short week at Lambeau Field, so it's definitely going to be a tough matchup. So we're going to get into what our keys are going to have to be for victory. This is a game that, as you see, the Commanders are actually underdog. Not only are we on the road, of course, against a good opponent, but they looked very good last week, and we're going to have to step it up in order to keep this streak going, if you want to call one win a streak or whatever. But yeah, we're going to have to step it up big. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a great game. I think these are two playoff teams, two of the top, the better teams in the NFC, and I think we're in for a treat early on in the season. So that being said, who are our X factors going to have to be in order for us to come up big? Well, in my opinion, Bill Krosky Merritt. If you've been following the Commanders this offseason throughout the preseason, then you know we have found our answer at running back. And he is the rookie, a mid-round pick. And he has really came in and took everyone from storm. Uh, of course, the preseason, he came in, played himself into a roster spot, and week one, he played well as well. The only thing that I will say is we're going to have to see a little bit more of him as far as giving him more carries. Of course, his workload is going to increase now that he's shown that he can do it during the regular season. Of course, we're going to look for him to do it on a consistent basis. I think we're going to have to run the ball pretty solidly in order for us to keep up with the Packers. Of course, that pass rush is something that's very, very special. Adding Michael Parsons to it, they're a team that likes to put pressure on the quarterback with just rushing four. So if we can put any pressure on that front seven by keeping them off balance, running the ball, and also controlling the clock a little bit, and just overall controlling the trenches, I think that will create a more balanced attack for us offensively. It'll slow down the rush as far as getting to Jaden Daniels. It'll add some versatility to our offense and open things up as well. So I look to see more of Bill in order for us to win this game. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I look to see Frankie Louvu coming up big. Listen, they got one of the best running backs in the NFL, and our guy Josh Jacobs. One thing that I will say on defense that I would like to see a little bit better or better production is our tackling. We didn't tackle too well week one. Of course, it's week one. It's a little bit of rust coming, so you expect that. But against Josh Jacobs, I would like to see us tackle a little bit better. I would like to see Frankie Louvu get after the quarterback, keep Jordan Love from being comfortable, and also being a factor in sideline to sideline and pretty much making plays all over. So I think Frankie Louvu will have to have a big game in order for us to come up big, as well as Bill Krosky Merritt. That being said, what are our keys to victory this week? Number one, I mentioned it, winning the trenches. Our line has to win the battle both on the offensive side and defensive side, but specifically on the offensive side of the ball. We had our rookie come in week one against the Giants defense, week two coming against Michael Parsons. It's trial by fire. So, Connerly, he's going to have to step it up. He struggled a little bit at times against the Giants, but like I said, it could be expected going against one of the better teams. So looking for Connerly to kind of, just hold it down. You don't have to dominate, but hold it down. And all across the offensive line, making sure that we don't let them get a good pass rush with just four. That's what this team likes to do. That's how their defense is successful. So if we can give our quarterback time, win in the trenches, keep a solid run game, pass protect, and I think that we'll be in good shape. And on this other side of the ball, we have to get pressure on Jordan Love. The Lions were not able to get pressure on him. He had time, he was comfortable, and as a result, he looked amazing last week, finding his receivers. He was on target. He played a really good game, and I think the problem was they didn't have enough pressure. So I'm looking for us to get pressure on him, looking for us to knock him around a little bit the same way we did Russ, keep him from getting comfortable so that he can't find a rhythm with his wide receivers. And I mentioned this before, we're going to have to improve our tackling, specifically against Josh Jacobs. We're going to have to be, pretty solid in the run game, keep them off balance. If we get them off schedule, get them in second and long, third and longs, then I think we stand a better chance at getting after the quarterback, keeping them from getting a rhythm, and really making this a pretty competitive game. So we're going to have to tackle well. We're going to have to fly 11 hats to the ball, swarm. Hopefully we get some turnovers out of it as well. But I think these are things that we're going to have to do in order to get the win, which I think is very much possible. So that's our feedback. Week 2, we're off in full swing. Let me know what you think. Hit us up on our socials, comment, share, like. Let us know what you're looking for to week 2. Who do you think is going to win? Are the Commanders going to pull it out? We're looking to go 2-0. So we got an early game this week. Check it out on Thursday. Check us out on the rest of the channel, and we look forward to seeing you soon.